Fred Mankey and Griffin Leapak at 13-1. Coming in now, that LCQ Snowgoer Magazine sponsor the World Championship Snowmobile Derby. Good to have them on board. We get set to call them down here to the starting line. Anyone inside the wooden fence, we need you outside the wooden fence. You're blocking the view from the VIP booth. Once again, if you're inside the wooden fence up here in front of the VIP booth, we need you outside of that fence. That's so the people in the VIP can see your
track's taking a beating.
So once again, please move outside that wooden
warm
fence.
weather's
As we call down our pole center,
killed it.
Gunnar Stern making his way down here to the starting line. We get set to cut loose. The Red Bull ride. The 102 of Blaine Stevenson coming down now in the order of qualifying that took place earlier on. So Stern earning the pole during Friday Night Thunder. Stevenson was your quick qualifier. The 102 lines up to the inside. The 39 sled of Thomas Olson just to the outside of Gunnar Stern. They had faced off on that Friday night Woody's Challenge that took place. The 28 of Gady goes all the way out to the fence. We saw him do that during the Vintage World Championship weekend. 157 of John Hankey lines up just to the outside of Brent Miller on the 311. And now the number 1 of Griffin Leapak will go to the outside next to Gady. The 11 joins us. Fred Mankey to the extreme inside for now. The 233 of Matt Bennett. The 23, Jake Bears, now cops down to the inside. The Ultimax Performance Belts by Timken starting line. And your final 2 starters coming out of the LCQ. The 334 sled of Dalton Fredrickson. He is joined by the 39X of Justin Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are set to go with the 58th Annual World Championship Snowmobile Derby. 25 laps the distance. Rico backs up. Shakes the shoulders. He'll plant himself firmly in the ice and get ready to throw the green flag on this historic event here at the World Championship Derby Complex in Eagle River, Wisconsin. Glance over the shoulder. Check to make sure everything's peachy keen. A glance from the drivers. The green flag set to go down, and it will go up, and we drop the hammer. Charge down into the corner, lap number 1. 4 wide back in the field. Now remember, these riders have not been out here inside for a little. Well, it called a reconnaissance lap as now Gunnar Stern rolls down into turn number 3 and 4, not taking it easy as all through the field. Little crisscross applesauce having to back behind. And up front of your race leader going to be Blaine Stevenson looking to pick up his 4th in a row. Power slides it down into
we're running high because of the track condition. Most of them are.
Rolling 3rd on the field. Good side-by-side action a little further back. Carving off that top shelf, just enough traction for Blaine Stevenson up front. Stern not letting him recede into the distance. Trails by about 5 sled lengths down into turn number 1 and 2. Back behind, watching on for the number 3 spot, Gady, Jake Bears, Fred Mankey, your top 5, Olson, Hankey, Matt Bennett, your top 8, Peterson and Brent Miller, your top 10. This thing far from over. 25 laps pounding on these sleds around here. The champ sleds coming to life. Look out, a little carve sideways for Blaine Stevenson as she picked up the left-hand side down the front straightaway. Hang on to it. Powers out to him down the back chute. Sleds just fast enough, low enough, and sleek enough. As we almost had one into the wall down at turn number 1 and 2, able to carve his way away from it. Mankey got dangerously close down that end of the racetrack where his brother struck just not too long ago. But they're skipping across the top of the racetrack like a stone on a pond, down the front chute and down into turn number 1 and 2, and Gunnar Stern still within 5 sled lengths. Back behind, challenge out for the number 4 spot out turn number 2 and down back straightaway. Bears has got it. Olson looking to the inside. 39 sled, gonna run her deep into turn number 3. He'll come to call. Slide up, try to take the lane away. They'll almost come together in turn number 3 and 4 and put the number 39 Olson up a spot. He'll move into 4th on the field. Gunnar Stern still stalking down the back straightaway. Now closes about a half a sled length, maybe a sled length into turn number 3. Stevenson up front. You know fatigue is going to be a factor in this one. Got to hang on to those bars, nothing to hold you in, no seat belts, no straps, no full containment seats, nothing of the nature. It's all muscles coming into play, and Blaine Stevenson's using them very hard with that.
Come on, Gunnar.
Down in the corner, and Stern,
I want to see you finally win this race.
Gunnar Stern set the pounce down into the corner of the Red Bull ride. Up high, closes on the back bumper, looks to the inside, and will charge down low out of turn number 4, down the front straightaway, lap number 7, that time by. Deep down into turn number 1 and 2. Stevenson, still your race leader. Gunnar Stern's here. Stevenson can definitely hear him howling around in his ears. The 220 sled again looks to the outside. Down into turn number 3 and 4. Rolls through the corner and onto the front straightaway. Stevenson's gacked it up just a little bit. Pulls out maybe a pinch more down into the corner. Still watching on from the number 3 spot, Meg Gady. Big World Championship last weekend, and now lap traffic a factor for your race leader. Stevenson able to get down to the inside of the 334 of Dalton Fredrickson. Fredrickson now lap down as Gunnar Stern works to the outside, carries a lip more speed onto the front straightaway, and another one rolls into the mix. Justin Peterson will go lap down to your race leader. Stevenson down into turn number 1 and 2. Skips his way down into the corner. Gunnar Stern slipped wide to the fence. Can't get that baby reel back under control. As now Stevenson working that little strike through the middle. Stern carrying the momentum onto the front straightaway, and Blaine Stevenson starting to stretch his legs on him. Gunnar Stern's giving up a tremendous amount of distance. Gady all by his lonesome to number 3 spot. 4th, maybe still up for grabs, maybe not. Here comes Thomas Olson working P4 on the field. Jake Bears, the number 23, rounding out those top 5. He gets across the stripe. And Blaine Stevens is all by his lonesome up front. 102 sled. Working it. Down the front straightaway, crosses the stripe, lap number 11 that time by. Just about to the halfway point for the 102 ride. Gunnar Stern, at least on the same straightaway, trails by about, we'll call it a half a straight. Back in the 220 sled, split the difference, 1.247 the last time across the stripe. And Stevens is starting to sit up just a little straighter on his sled. Wipes the mask as we got a slow one down in the corner. We're going to keep a little caution on the racetrack, but that only happens in a spot. As now Stevenson looks to the inside of overlap traffic out of turn number 2 and down the back chute. You can see him wiping at his visor. As that ice dust definitely a factor working down into turn number 3. Just a giant cloud comes up and envelops them as they roll into the corner. It's got to cut down on your visibility through the apex, and that is a very fast end of the racing surface. Stern still watching on. Matt Gady, the number 28, still trailing back by a bunch. And that margin between first and second remains about the same, 1.2 seconds. If Gunnar Stern is saving anything, he's going to have to let it go before too awful long. This is lap number 14. This time by, we're over the halfway point. Back behind your third position, Gady's being closed on by Thomas Olson. Olson, a 39 sled. Just run down the 28 into turn number 1 and 2. And we'll challenge maybe this next time around as he follows in the ski tracks down the back straightaway into the corner. Here comes Olson on the attack for the number 3 spot. Down low, rattles his way up into the inside and able to get around on the outside. Goes Matt Gady, the 28's got to put the whip to it as here comes Olson again. Will make a run on him down in turn number 1 and 2. Pulls up in, kicks dust in his face, crossing back down low for Gady, the number 28. He'll challenge low, thinks better of it, backs out of the throttle and follows in behind the number 39 of Thomas Olson. Race leader up front, Stevenson down into the corner. Gunnar Stern still back by 1.8 seconds now. As up front, Blaine Stevenson continues to pull away. 16 laps scored that last time by. Stern watching on. He's sitting up very straight as well. Fatigue definitely a factor. This rough track, not the smooth ice. Can't get comfortable on the sled as it continues to punch you up off the seat when they catch the rumblies coming out of the corner. As Stevenson puts another lap into the books. 17 now scoring down. Gunnar Stern back behind. Thomas Olson, the number 39 sled, rolling along third on the field. Matt Gady, the number 28, rounding out those top 4. Jake Bears, the 23 sled, rolls across the stripe. He is running 5th, but almost a full track back from your race leader, Blaine Stevenson, who is now closed and lapped your 6th position. Fred Mankey down into turn number 1. A blistering pace being laid down by the 102 of Stevenson up front. On a mission to go 4 in a row out here at the World Championship Snowmobile Derby. As he'll bring it out of the corner, and it'll be lap number 19 this time by as he gets by the Ultimax Performance Belts by Timken's starting line. 2 lap sleds in between himself and Gunnar Stern. Stern not pushing nearly as hard as we saw earlier on. Maybe trying to conserve something for a late race charge, but I got news for him. It's just about the late race. Just a handful of laps will remain. This time by for Stevenson up front. The 102 sled out of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. Glance over his shoulder to look for a competitor, and all you can see is lap traffic. Stern, the 220 sled. It might be giving up the number 2 spot to the 39 Olson, as Olson is now closed on the Red Bull ride out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Slides through the lap traffic for Thomas Olson on the number 39. As he heads down into turn number 3, he's going to make a run at Gunnar Stern. Watch him. They're to the inside of Mankey. Mankey, lap traffic will come together with him out of turn number 4. Glances off and continues for Thomas Olson down. And he'll go on the attack, runs it deep into turn number 1 to the inside. Gunnar Stern shuffles the 220 back into the number 3 spot as he moves into second on the field. Down the back straightaway he goes. Meanwhile, up front, your race leader coming across for lap number 22 for Blaine
Track is
Stevenson.
rough.
Down into the corner, turn number 1 and 2. Stevenson now on cruise control. I'm sure checking out the paddock area in his cruise saying, take your time. You got a huge gap 9-second lead over that second place Thomas Olson on the 39 sled. Stevenson rolls out turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Olson skitters his way up across the racetrack. Gunnar Stern shuffle back into third, cannot challenge for it. As 23 laps complete, white flag will be coming out the next time by for Thomas Olson. Or Blaine Stevenson on the 102 sled down the back straightaway to the inside of more lap traffic. Rolls through turn number 3 and 4. Leader rolling out of the corner, slow on the throttle. Will pick up the white flag, and it's the final voyage of velocity for Blaine Stevenson. Absolutely flawless on a driver's track. You can say the other ones may have gone to the machine. This one definitely goes to the drivers. Blaine Stevenson down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. And out of the corner he comes. The 58th running of the World Championship Snowmobile Derby, and 4 in a row for Blaine Stevenson on the 102. Second, gonna go to the 39 of Thomas Olson. Third will be Gunnar Stern on the 220. Matt Gady in the 28 will hang on for fourth. John Hankey in the 157 able to battle up into the number 5 spot. Bears goes 6. Justin Peterson, Dalton Frederickson, Fred Mankey, Matt Bennett, Griffin Leapak, Brent Miller, your top 12. What do you think of that race, fans? Wire to wire, green to checker out here at the 58th running of the World Championship Snowmobile Derby on a textured track. A lot of character to be found, and a lot of character out there's racers as well. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Unbelievable. Wow, Gunnar Stern able to pick up the pole position, and this is a race too, and I'm not going to lie to you, the bets were going around how many red flags we're going to have out here. Hats off to the racers. Mechanical difficulties for some of the racers on the back straightaway pulled off down to the infield. We kept this thing clean and green and run that full 25 laps. No red flags, no cautions. Well, no, we had caution on track, but you know what I'm saying. No stoppage of racing action. That was start to finish. Now, guarantee you, Blaine Stevenson, well, in the rest of the field, Thomas Olson, Gunnar Stern, Maggie, all of them are huffing and puffing back at the Woody's Traction Control paddock area. So we get set to bring the top 3 out here onto the front stretch. We have the Pro Enduro coming up next, starting 20 sleds strong for 100 laps. Stick around for that. Our award ceremony will take place 2 hours after the finish of that Pro Enduro race down at Derby Hall. We encourage you to join us for that. If you're a racer and you're done racing for